Depression does not exist. 3, 2, 1.
So I think depression is definitely a real thing. I mean, I've gone through it before. It's not something that you can just, one day be like depressed and the next day be like, I'm good, let's get back to it. It's a process. And I feel like, I guess everyone else who's here has felt some form of depression, whether it be, or some kind of sadness. And yeah, I think anyone who does say that it doesn't exist probably isn't aware that they've had it before, or isn't aware of anyone else who isn't really aware of anyone else around them who has had it. So, or maybe they're just like denying it.
Okay, so I do believe that depression does exist, but to a degree. I do believe in clinical depression, but not just anyone stamping that just because they're upset for a long period of time that they're depressed. Lots of people just have no ambition in life most of the time, and because they can't do anything about it, then they say, I'm sad, I'm depressed, and then, make a sook out of it. So I do believe there is such thing as depression, but not every case of depression is depression, in my opinion.
All right, following on that, I agree, depression 100% does exist. It's an emotion, it's normal. It's people, you can get sad, you can get really sad, you can get depressed. There's levels to it, right? I feel like now in society, depression has become like a trend, and now it's popular to be depressed, and I feel like that's really upsetting for the people who are genuinely depressed, because, as you said, it kind of takes away the sort of social credibility for people who are actually sad, and then that limits people's, ability to help. So I 100% agree depression does exist, but I think whatever you give energy to is sort of what you start believing. If I always tell myself, I'm depressed, I'm going to keep getting more and more depressed. Whereas if I tell myself, I'm more happy, I'm going to start feeling a lot better about myself. Yeah, I may not cure it 100%, but I'll feel a little bit better.
I think it's important to remember that with depression comes lack of motivation. So it's important to remember that just because someone's not doing something, it's not because they're lazy, it is because it is one of the effects of depression. And I mean, like physically sitting on the sofa, not able to get up. So yeah, and obviously there are different levels, but it needs to be looked at in a holistic way where you've got, doctors and psychiatrists and lifestyle changes. And yeah, it's just really important to know that it is definitely a thing, and often the people in it cannot get themselves out of it. They do need help, and I mean, people don't suicide for no reason. So yeah, it's definitely a thing.